Marvel Rivals, the Overwatch killer, swooped in at just the right time when faith in Blizzard and Overwatch 2 as a product was at its absolute lowest. I'm not sure if anyone really remembers, but the month of Rivals release, there was a lot of hope and desire for Rivals to finish off Overwatch. Others called it necessary competition, feeling like Overwatch sat a little too comfortable as the only hero shooter of its kind. I mean, besides the dead TF2, but we don't really talk about that. And Rivals finally gave it the kick it needed to start getting its act together. While I do believe competition is good, and it surely does give Blizzard incentive to give Overwatch some fucking juice, Overwatch had already put out a massive update like a month later that was clearly already very much in the works, and the content that we've been getting since is also clearly before Rivals ever even entered the ring. New heroes, maps, mythic skins, and everybody should already know by now that that shit takes a lot of time, approval, and work before any of these things are ever release ready. Mythic skins are worked on and pre-approved like a year before they even see the light of day, as are many skins and maps and heroes and everything that's already been mentioned. Games take time, main point, and the case is the same for Rivals even. See, the unfortunate truth about how long it takes for devs to cook is that we have an example of when it works and when it doesn't, or at least when it feels kind of sluggish or it feels like devs are a little slow to respond to certain criticism. Despite the Overwatch versus Rivals competition and both communities bickering about what edges one has over the other, I want to take a moment to talk about Rivals, how its development has led to a strong, successful start, and how the long process of dev time may be hurting its chances of winning favor with the player base, primarily due to oversights or inability to steer in a direction other than what they've already planned for. Regardless of how you might feel about what I gotta say or the direction of the game itself, I want to preface this by saying that this is my opinion based on the facts at hand. If your opinion differs, why don't you just tell me? I've got time to engage with you. You want to change my mind, you want to add on to it, you want to call me a fucking asshole, then go ahead, because I wholeheartedly welcome you to do so. Without further ado, let's get into it. So when Rivals first launched, it was just what a lot of people were looking for. Overwatch 2 by this point had grown kind of stale. The meta wasn't really being shaken up. There wasn't really a way to shake it up. 5v5 and 6v6 being an argument was huge at the time, and the competitive system, the ranking system, it just hasn't found its sweet spot yet. It's also the only game on the market with its style of gameplay. Not hero shooter like category, but that TF2 like you push the payload bullshit. It was incredibly easy to pick it the hell apart and shit all over its qualities. It was incredibly easy to pick it the hell apart and shit over all of its qualities, especially because the only reference point if you didn't play TF2 was Overwatch 1, which was gone. So while new content wasn't the problem like it was with Overwatch 1, the community was quite split on whether or not that new content was even any good. After all, you can find about endless debate on the split between 5v5, 6v6, role queue being implemented, queue times, new game modes, supports being too strong, tanks being too weak, and then tanks being too strong, OP, DPS not having enough power, weird lore timelines, Kiriko getting too many fucking skins, being the dev favorite. During all this discourse, what does Marvel Rivals offer on release? A chance to wipe all the sins away and start anew. A chance for old streamers that grew tired of Overwatch and jaded with it find love in something new, yet familiar enough for all their skills and even audience to transfer over to. And a chance for new streamers and content creators to enter the market on a game they like better, kinda like yours truly. Plus, no role queue, no varying game modes, no crisis of being in season 100 with changes not everybody agrees on, and 6v6, which a lot of people from Overwatch prefer. It's a whole new time to come up with new team compositions, experiment with new mechanics, and solve the meta. Quickly, I want to add on to what solving the meta means in case someone here doesn't know what that means. So a lot of players, content creators, pros, whatever, they've gone on record as saying that Overwatch is a solved game. It's found its way of running. Whether it was 6v6 or 5v5, you're looking at 2 tanks, 2 DPS, 2 healers, or in 5v5, 1 tank, 2 DPS, 2 healers. And the way characters are designed, their skills, abilities, how the game modes are going to turn out is completely reliant on this meta. There is no new experimentation. There will be no goats, no all DPS comps, no way to abuse different synergies between roles. It all works contained within the box 222 or 122. You can work within the box, and it has been through rigorous amounts of overhauls and reworks and meta changes and patches to come to what it is known to today. So, solved. It doesn't mean a certain comp that's following within 222 can't dominate, just that the meta and way of playing generally isn't going to be changed upon. Some it was going to be amazing. Time to go a different route to Overwatch and find new ways to do things. An alternate timeline where Overwatch didn't implement what it did, where it didn't listen to certain people. It was exciting to see what if it goes in another route, especially because for the last couple of years, whether you played Overwatch 1 or Overwatch 2, it's kind of like eating chicken and rice. Ever since 222 took over, with no new meta mix-ups or big changes, some people said that they found role queue to be kind of what made the game boring. For others, it was as simple as, hey, there's no role queue, meaning I'm not going to be sitting in a 2 to 3 minute or longer queue and I can get into games immediately. For a lot of people, that much was enough. Of course, this time of discovery didn't come without its caveats. Since the drop of the game, the community has been fighting with itself, and partly the devs, on role queue and Force 222. I'm not really going to talk much about that or offer my opinion on it, because we'll go forever about the complexities of team-ups or if it's better for rivals to form its own metas. But one thing is clear: Overwatch being solved greatly influences people's perceptions on what rivals should be doing. Whether or not that's right or wrong depends entirely on the person that's playing or what the community at large has to say. The only thing I have to say is, if your game is going to play a lot like Overwatch, it might be worth it to consider how exactly Overwatch got to where it was, what it took to get there, and why. On the other hand, I can understand game devs wanting their game to grow and become something naturally, but when your direct competitor has had its solution for years, despite what other issues it might have brought up, it's difficult to interact with player bases that engage in both games or have moved from one to the other. In that sense, I kind of sympathize a lot with the devs. Still, it's important to look at how exactly the devs have been handling the issues that players have raised so far. In terms of role queue, the devs have already expressed, I think more than once, that there are no plans to integrate it, much to the criticism of a lot of people. But if the devs don't plan on it, there's not really much use in talking about it. They've also gotten criticism for the main thing I really want to talk about, which ironically is kind of the same problem Overwatch does, but for a different reason. But that's neither here nor there. Hero releases. As it stands, there are 10 Vanguards, 22 Duelists, and 9 Strategists. Most recently, the last 2 heroes to be added to the game were Phoenix, the DPS, and Blade, also DPS. Much to the distaste of the Vanguards and Strategists man. Why? Simple. Because options are limited. More limited than you might think. At the end of the day, Rivals is a competitive shooter, and most people want to win, to the point of engaging in endless toxic behavior. If you really want to win, then you're paying attention to tier lists of pro or top 500 content creators showcasing who the best heroes are in every slot. S tier tanks, as it stands at the moment, at least from last I checked, are 2, count them, 2 Vanguards, Mag and Emma Frost. Mag is an all-rounder. He's got pretty good range. He can be deadly from medium range and up close, has an ult capable of stopping several big hitter DPS ults and shutting down Cloak and Dagger and Luna Snow ults, which are massively impactful in the game. And he's got great mitigation abilities for himself and his team. Emma Frost, on the other hand, is tough and durable and hard-hitting, and for what she lacks in range, she really makes up in utility and a hard frontline. She's a little bit harder to pull off solo, but her ult is fantastic and not impossible to pull off, especially when you've got 2 really solid strategists helping you out, or 3 solid strategists, which is a perfect segue into why the strategists are so limited despite having 9 characters in the roster. Whether you're looking at a tier list or win ratings or just figuring it out yourself as a solo player, you are limited to 4: Luna Snow, Invis, Cloak and Dagger, and Loki. These 4 can be played in any scenario. Well, I find Loki a little bit debatable because so many people are so fucking ass at him. Anyway, whether you're running two strategists or triple strategists, you can't go wrong with these 4. They can heal up the ass, they got great ults, great kits, and if they take care of each other, especially with stuff like Loki runes, Cloak and Dagger bubble, they've got great survivability working together. If you play support and you're watching this video, I'm almost willing to bet that you're a Cloak and Dagger or Luna Snow main, and I wouldn't really blame you. they fuck, and they've got hot goon skins. Actually, that's kind of another point worth considering. If you run any of the supports with goon skins, you basically win the game. Cloak and Dagger suspending. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, what about the remaining 5 strategists? Surely 5 remaining characters have to be good and not total shit, right? Wrong. The first one is so-so. The other 3 are kind of situational, and the last one is a throw pick and you should die. First off, Rocket is not a throw pick, and he is past only working in triple strat comp because of his ult rework, but picking him is like settling for second best. Why play Rocket when the first 4 do what he does and better? For a lot of people, it's about survivability, and I see a lot of Rocket mains greatly value rescuing themselves and keeping a very low death count, which in fairness, I kind of agree. It's good to have low deaths on strategist. The real issue comes down to if all you're doing all game is scampering around like a fucking cockroach on the walls, abandoning points, abandoning teammates, running from fights, what the fuck is your value? You're not dead, but you kind of are dead. Those 8 to 10 seconds of you running all over the fucking place while your teammates are dying and Iron Fist or Spider-Man or someone is endlessly chasing you is not as valuable as a DPS leading another DPS on a wild goose chase. It's good not to die. This is why having a co-healer watching your back is just better. And because most people play solo, the other 4 are better to pick because they usually stick around another healer and get healed during a dive, and then it's like being hit by Nerf noodle. I'm not saying that this always happens, especially because most healers in this game are really shit. Just I'm lost on the value of this running rat if 90% of the game is you running for your life, but you boast going 0-0 by the end of the game. So C tier or B tier if you want to be a little more charitable. After that, you've got the triple trio only gang, Adam, Mantis, and Ultron, and they kind of make me really sad, especially Adam, who, my poor fucking boy, can't even fly, despite his most iconic scene in recent history is flying through space. While I don't think Adam should be Ultroning it up, some kind of glide, like several characters in this game can glide at least, or short burst of flight would be neat. Anyway, Adam in triple strat can be a demon. If you can hit your shots, you can keep good track of your heal charges and your soul bond for the important bits, you're kind of unstoppable. And this is really more focused on Adam as of 3.5, not when he was running, you could run him in the res meta, but his ult now is faster at being cast, and it has made him more valuable, but not valuable enough that you can justify running him in 2-2-2 or 1-3-2. Adam is forever locked to 1-2-3 or 2-1-3. Why? Easy. A, he's got no continuous heal, and B, his ult is not a big AoE circle of healing like the top 4. So running him with one other strategist is just asking for the team VC to flame you for not running a top 4 strategist. While his burst heal charges are insane and are great for clutch saves, once he's out of charges, he basically just kind of spectates you getting your shit rocked. And then Mantis, while she does have a big circle heal AoE that can save fights, she comes down pretty much to the same problems. Even with the recent changes, she has no good burst healing. Even if you dump all your charges on one person, they can get decimated by too much damage. There is no saving. It's too slow and too little. Her sleep is easy to land, but only useful for anti-dive unless you're frontlining and about to get your cheeks clapped. Even then, BP is capable of waking himself the fuck up out of your sleep now, so you're kind of just fucked. And her DPSing is just weird. It's not hit scan, it's kind of just like a fast, bugged kind of projectile type bullet, kind of Bucky style and a little awkward to aim. I'm not sure if that's fixed now, but it just doesn't take away from the fact that she, in a duo with one other support, she sucks and is preferable in a 3 healer squad. Once again, you're bound to be flamed to death in VC for not running a preferable healer. Then there is the disappointment that is Ultron, DPS in disguise. His main mechanic as a healer is shooting people. His healing is low, he offers no burst, and he's an easy to hit target in the air. And with the thing being able to knock his ass down, he's easy as shit to just dogpile and shit on. His healing and DPS doesn't justify ever picking him outside of a 3 healer comp. In a 3 healer comp, if you can reliably hit those shots and use your ult pretty aggressively, you have value. But with just 2, you're again asking to get flamed at in the chat or VC for not picking a preferable better healer. And it's a great shame. His design is cool. His kit is cool. He just doesn't fit on his own, and it makes your choices that much more limited. I'm not even gonna get into Jeff F tier, fuck you. Have you noticed anything wrong with this yet? 4 of the 9 are situational or you throw. And if you're thinking, well, my buddy's an Eternity Mantis or an Adam and they can make it work, yeah, but that's like less than 1,000 fucking people. We're talking main player base here, okay, where shit really matters, where the hundreds of thousands of other players are getting slammed by BPs and suffering together, holding hands kumbaya style. The worst part of them being attached to triple healer is is in the event that the devs did integrate 222, how the hell would they even work? They would be row picks. The only answer would be to take their interesting designs, to take their cool kits, and completely redesign them to be more like the top 4 healers. As much as everybody cried about Rocket's ult being changed to fit that better, it worked, didn't it? And he now is saved from not having to be in triple healer metacom. You can play him in 2 and he'll be fine. Maybe people will feel the same if Adam and Ultron got a big ass healing AoE ultimate, or if their abilities were swapped and either allowed more burst heal or allowed more continuous healing, or vice versa. The issue is that the game has a desire to explore metas. Apart from the 2, you never know what things are going to look like in practice. And if you make a seriously cool Vanguard or a really cool strategist, you're going to have to ask yourself a big question. Why would anyone pick this character over the top choices for that role? If people prefer shields or burst healing with a healing ult, what can you offer that isn't only different, better? See? Not so easy, is it? And I think that is an issue that the devs are running into with their strategists and with their Vanguards. They've got cool designs. People want to be healed. All that matters is being healed. Maybe it is the dev vision for 1-2-3 or 2-1-3 metas to be run to take advantage of different kits and team ups, but people aren't satisfied with this. Making a character that highly resonates with someone just to make them niche or get massive blowback from your teammates for wanting to play them is a massive killer. Rivals seems to fancy itself while being a team-based hero shooter, a perfect game for the solo player, especially with those awful changes in teaming up in rank. Ultimately, we'll have to see how this ends up for them in the long run. Overwatch has gone through similar things, but Overwatch has done all it can to attempt to keep its competitive integrity intact for the most part. After all, Overwatch is a lot more focused on being competitively balanced, while Rivals seems to want to cater to more casual fans. Again, despite weird recent changes, honestly, it's kind of hard to figure out exactly what the dev intentions are at the moment. It's kind of all over the place. So I made this video to open up further discussion about the state of Rivals, strategists, and Vanguards. I'm a strat DPS main myself, and I think it's important to create content like this to continue to spread what you might believe in or keep the discussion going so that the devs can see how their choices are impacting their game and community. Ultimately, I love Rivals as much as I hate it, and I want it to succeed. So criticism and dialogue is important. I didn't make this video to use long dev time. I didn't make this video to use long dev time to defend their actions. Just that the unfortunate truth is that we might be waiting a long time before we get what we're asking for. And we've got to ask ourselves a big important question too. How long are we willing to wait? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see more gaming or Rivals related content, how about subscribing? I've got more in the works that I'm ready to start putting out. If you enjoyed, a like would be appreciated, and I'm keen on hearing your thoughts. So if you want to leave a comment behind for me to respond to, that would be great. If you want to have a more face-to-face dialogue with me about my opinions or offer feedback personally, you're welcome to join my Discord server, where I also announce when I stream on Twitch. Links below. Have a great day, and thank you again.